The second part of our session is table topic session. To take the meeting forward, I would like to call a person. Is a funny, joyful, and a rank student. He was a rank student because of his relationship. He was a relationship with a girl. She was always giving a competition. So that's why I become a rank student. So I would like to call Mr. Hussain. Hussain. Thank you, Amish. Seems to be look like funny. You want me to introduce in that way. Good evening, everyone. How was the snacks?
Very good. Filling.
Special thanks to Chandan. Chocolate soda utterly delicious. And thanks to Ashutosh and team. It was spicy, sweety, and tasty. Moving on. Table topics is to test your impromptu skills, which means how spontaneous you are without being prepared, organized, taking up a topic and speaking on that. Timer, kindly note. Yeah. For individual speaker, the time is 1 minute. You can show the green card. Yeah. 1.5 minutes, yellow card. 2 minutes, it's red card. If we have a debate or a duet, same times, but for a drama duet together, it will be 3 minutes. Uh, Green card, 4 minutes, yellow card. Sorry, yeah, 4 minutes yellow card, 5 minutes is red card. The best table topic speaker will get a brand new gift by our enormous president Harshita Shartai. Read. So, are you excited?
Yes.
Let's begin the show. So, I would request Toastmaster Pooja to join the stage. Consider a situation in your life wherein you are almost winning the situation. However, in the last moment, got to know that you are losing it. How you come out of that, or it can be vice versa.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. Recently, where I'm working, we had an internal promotion, okay? And I was very sure, okay, this time I'll be doing it. I was very sure. And it was not that I'm sure only. I want to be on that position. We had interview and recently I had this throat infection. But okay, I cleared one round interview and after that I was on leave. So for the group discussion, I was not there in office. Okay, fine. But still, I was confident. The very next day, I was present in the office, and those who were not present on that day, management team called some person for that GD round. But on that GD round, I was not there. Okay, fine. Then result day, I was not in the promotion list. I was I was at this point, yes. I will be there, I will be there. This time team lead will be me only. I'll be sitting on that chair. Okay, fine. There was two posts. One is for team lead and one is for mentor. Team lead, my name was not there. Mentor, my name was not there. Okay, fine. Recently, one company approached me for an interview. I cleared first round, second round, third round. I was not very sure of changing company right now. I got an offer. Management, I wrote a resignation letter. Saturday was all that facilitation program, and Sunday night I wrote a resignation. Monday I was sitting in front of HR. She asked me, "What do you want to tell me?" I said approval. What I wrote on Sunday night, I want approval. She said, "We are ready to give whatever you want to tell me. You want position, you want better salary." I said, "No, I want approval." I was at the edge of winning. Why to give second chance to them? Why I'll work on someone else and I was capable of that position? It's not like that my ego got hurt. But that interview told me I was capable. So I can move. And when HR called me, when management team called me, what she said to me, "Don't go, we will be engaged forever." Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja. You reminded me of my same situation 2, 3 months back. And my previous employer is still calling me to join back. Thanks. I request a couple of my friends, Mr. Sujan, Toastmasters Sujan, and join me on the stage. So this week is all about Valentine's. We hope you guys what you can expect what is coming up now. So we have a situation here. So one is a no having a crush on other, and one suppose no, one of you have to assume you're a girl, okay, and the other is boy, and that boy is seeing that girl every day, but hesitant of speaking and proposing her. So you decide who is taking that girl role and the boy. Okay.
Yeah,
You are
experience in
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Let's see. So you have to so you have to propose and you have to deny for what reason. It could be a debate or it also can be a drama. So to help you,
Hello, Srijan. I love your name.
Ashitosh Singh.
Oh, I heard of you. You were the one who was name was written below backlogs. I've seen your name on the top so often. How do you don't get any time other than studies? I do things a lot, but what happens is I have no time for other things. I get focused on studies. Only studying is my main motive for now. Placements, I need to get good placements and then get a good job, good car. And then who will you share that? I don't want to share it with anyone. I just want to keep it for myself. But what about friends? You don't have friends? I don't like friends. The one thing I like is enjoying solo trips. I'm a one-man army person. One man army. One man army. You know what? You are exactly right. I have been in this institute taking the throne of the backloggers every time, and nobody has dared to come near me. And I've lost interest in friends a long time back. I've been in this grade for like 6 years, 7 years. And I've realized that friends, they stop you back. They stop with personal growth and spiritual growth. Just a minute. They are telling me this. You think you want us to ask? You think you want me to ask? What do you want me to ask? You had come with this thing. Which has no flowers in it. Not on Valentine's Day. And you are telling me the stories which I don't say it is good for health. You can eat it. This is Tulsi. I was working on face glow. Now that you have taken this gift from me, this is not a gift. This is Tulsi for health. For the one woman army. Okay. And I think I would like to join the one woman army and make it a one woman man army. But I'm not interested. I have things to focus. And I don't need anyone. Happy that is good. That is about the army will do. I'll focus on my goals. Just to be at the back. Focus then. But yeah, thanks. I need this Tulsi.
Thank you. How many of you have watched a movie called Gangs of Wasseypur?
Yes.
Gangs of Wasseypur?
Oh.
Yeah, these two people remind me about a scene wherein Nawazuddin Siddiqui was trying to propose by touching Huma Qureshi. And Huma Qureshi is roasting back to him by saying, permission leni chahiye first, chine se pehle. It means you have to take permission before touching. So, now I would request our distinguished Toastmaster Priyadarshi sir to be on stage, along with Toastmaster Aruna. So, now you have a situation. Old love, old generation love, or new generation love. Which is better? You took a choice which to speak.
Whatever you take, I'll take the opposite. New generation. I will take a new generation.
Yeah, you have to
You will
speak.
take.
Oh, you say.
I think new.
Okay, that's what I asked you. Actually, you want to take new generation? Okay, I'll take. So who has to start?
I thought ladies first.
Me? Okay. New generation law. What do you mean by new generation? You have to live been together for 6 months, or 8 months, or 12 months, or 16 months, or 18 months. They just, you know, I mean, the guest was nodding. Which one? Like, do you know any specific time which you can live in, which can have the experience of living together?
No. But I have a relationship.
You have that. JP, any idea about that? How many months? I'm just asking you.
1 year. 1 year?
1 year. Okay. Question.
6 months.
6 months. Chandan?
2 years if it lasts.
2 years.
It's going to last.
Somebody says 6 months, somebody says 1 year, somebody says 2 years. That is not the relationship. You are enjoying, you are exploiting the others. 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months, 2 years. And after 2 years, goodbye. Look into the old generation. I come with my parents. Look into that girl. Love at first sight. I will say, do you like me? She will say, yes. I will say, like. We will love each other after the marriage. It's as simple as that. You know, whatever we love, whatever we have to do the work on, right? Once I love the girl, not love girl, I like the girl, then I start loving. That is called the old generation. New generation love is you act for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months that I'm loving you, and 2 years, goodbye. Because you see another beautiful girl like Harshita, you just go. That is not called old generation. Old generation love, whomever you see, you like them, start loving them. That is called old generation. OT.
You know, this old generation people, they agree to whatever they say. They'll be like, come on, parents have choose, let's go ahead. No communication, no that romance, there's nothing. All that you do is the same routine of just going with the family, just conducting what's required. But see how our new generation is. We communicate. We go abroad. We roam. We understand each other. We like each other's passion. We respect them, and then we decide should we go. And it's not about just 1 month, 6 months. It's sometimes you get to enough time to decide if this person is your kind of soulmate or not. So I think new generation is cool because you are actually assessing your partner the way you want. So new generation will always wins.
I partially agree with Priyadarshi sir. I totally agree with Toastmaster Aruna. I'll tell you my story. before marriage, we were in a relationship for almost 12 years. 2008 it started, 2019 we got married, and still we are new generation. I request any of the guests to Stanley. Yes. Can join. You want the craziest one or hardest one?
Crazy.
Okay. The best Valentine's Day gift you gave, took, when, where, how many times, and who all are there? Who all are repeat, repeat? Okay, just to review you, the best Valentine's Day gift you gave or took, when, how many times, and who all are there?
So, good evening everyone. My name is Stanley, guest for today, as you all are treating me like that. Yeah, so the situation given is the Valentine Day. I have celebrated all the days, to be frank. Rose Day, Chocolate Day, Teddy Day, Kiss Day, whatever it is. I have done it for only 1 year. So I have a relationship running from 13 years. So when I was in engineering, I guess, engineering first year, so I had done it. So the first gift I gave was a pen stand with a puppy kind of thing. It was the first gift I gave on gift. What was the day? I don't remember it. So I gave it. So the next is the rose day came. I gave a bunch of flowers, red roses, and it costed 15 rupees per rose. So it was costlier at that time for me to give that. So that was the rose day thing. And
So how many times you gave?
only one actually, only one which I said, only one. That's a good relationship going on. I hope it will last. Like sir said, old generation love. Even I treat it like that. So I want it to last like sir said. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Stanley, for introducing us to Chocolate Day, Flower Day, then some other days. But where I was most interested was Kiss Day, but you are not spoken. Please be prepared for the next time. Anyone want to volunteer? Yeah, Navneet. Toastmasters Navneet. So the best day, best Valentine's Day according to you.
Well, this is going to be an anticlimax. I, for one, do not believe in Valentine's Day. As much as I appreciate people celebrating love on a specific day, I believe love must be celebrated every single day. And if I have to really choose a particular day of love, it has to do with the birthday and how I make the other person feel special. There are many that goes through my mind, but what I remember the most was the time when I actually ensured that I get all friends and near and dear ones of my partner to share what they feel, their most memorable moment with her, and then put it all together and surprise her on her birthday. And that's something that I always cherish a lot. Of course, there are little acts of love that we keep doing every now and then, but we do not specifically hold Valentine's Day as our North Star, but each and every day is special and that needs to be celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Navneet. I do agree. Valentine's Day should not be on one specific day. However, practically, every day I cannot go and gift my wife. Okay, it is too expensive for me. I cannot be so, wishing her, taking her out for treats. It's not practically possible. Right?
Gestures would
On this note, back to you, Toastmaster. successful, we need an experience. Ushan has an experience of loving someone since 2018. How I told Priyadarshi has the experience of a Toastmaster club, he started loving from the first standard. So better you quit your job and start love school. So this is all about the. This is the end of the part two session. We'll go to the third part, that is a complete evaluation, general evaluation. I would like to call Mr. Toastmaster Akash to come on stage and give the feedback to everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Rakesh. First of all, who decided the theme for today? Because I cannot tell if this is because of Valentine's Day or if this is just a general theme. But it does ring true even for Valentine's Day or for whatever it is.
Actually, I wanted to stay away from Valentine's Day, so I had to find out what other things are celebrated. Today is also Valentine's Day, 14th February, is also celebrated as the National Ferris Wheel Day, which is named after Ferris, who invented the Ferris wheel, who was born on 14th of February.
Thank you for clearing that up. But anyway, we had a wonderful meeting, and it is time for feedback. Toastmaster Harshita did mention I'll be ruthless. Do you really want me to be ruthless, or?
Considering it is Valentine's week, you can say what you want.
The truth, the ugly truth. But anyways, this is not about the ugly truth. This is just feedback. They say feedback is the breakfast of champions, and when we say feedback, it is positive feedback, it is constructive feedback, and it is made for everyone to become better speakers. So any evaluation of any kind, my humble request as a general evaluator is not take it in a negative way, take it in a positive sense, because what you're going to get is steps to improve yourself as a speaker, which is something that I want to clear up. Starting, I would like to start with the role takers evaluation before we move on to the individual evaluations. Unfortunately, since I came late, I won't be able to evaluate the Sagarata Toastmaster Ashutosh. I'll only be able to evaluate him in one aspect, and that is the food, which is always good. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Can we have a huge round of applause for
Student most of the time.
Okay, so the
most of the time.
so the truth does come out. Okay. A special mention to Chandan for the chocolates as well. So a huge round of applause. So you can delegate your work to Chandan as well. He's not the person who knows you. But anyways, up next I'll move on to the evaluation of the presiding officer, Toastmaster Harshita. From what I heard when I was standing outside, you spoke a lot on theme. What I really like about your presiding officer addresses is that they're filled with energy, you have good vocal variety, stage movement, and that helps you interact with the audience and connect with them better. And I think that's a really good trait in any leader and in a president, for instance, that whenever you're giving an address, connect with the audience, connect with your club members. And I think this is where I think you excel really, really well. You have good command over the language, and you are able to connect with the audience better. So good job on that. Not a lot of areas of improvement on my end, and you did remember to open the meeting. So kudos on that. Can we have a huge round of applause for those? I'll give the evaluation of Toastmaster Rakesh a little later. Let us move on to the individual evaluation. Before that, I would like the timer to come on stage and give out the timings of only the prepared speakers.
Good evening. Toastmaster Chandan, he has taken 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Toastmaster Aruna, she has taken 7 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Tarun, he has taken 6 minutes 10 seconds.
Let's start off with the individual evaluations, starting with the first speech given by Toastmaster Tarun. Can we have his evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Priyadarshi, to give his evaluation?
Good evening, Toastmasters, once again. The project title is Connect with Your Audience. How do you connect with your audience? The best part is to break the ice. How do you break the ice with them? Engaging with the human. Third, you did exceedingly well in that connection. You engaged everyone. Everyone was laughing with your series of jokes. It was like a stand-up comedy. So the engaging with the audience, with the humor, is the best part to connect with the audience. You did it marvelously. The second thing is about, I was thinking, who is this speaker? Does he got a credibility to talk on the subject? What was the subject? Evils of marriage, how to overcome the challenges of the marriage. And he used the stories of his own life. That means he is successfully married. So in that, you established your credibility. Hats off to you. And you also gave us the takeaways. How to overcome the evils of the marriage. What to say, what not to say. Fine, nothing, go ahead, thank you, all those things. And also you told us to be careful or get lost, not your job, who cares? Those words we should not use. Thank you very much because I just married for 33 years. Still all those words makes a lot of meaningful to me. Thank you very much. Coming back to how to improve on that, in my perspective, the project calls for a couple of things which are going to unfamiliar audience. This audience is familiar to you because you belong to this team. New topic or unfamiliar topic or unusual topic. But the topic what you choose only is about the marriage. I thought it's a common topic as per me. And the solution given for the successful marriage, what are the challenges or the ills of the marriage? But there are many people like Srijan, Akash, they're into marriage. People who are already married for 33 years. The biggest challenge for this project is to understand the demography of the audience. Here you have from 18 years to 60 years from different walks of life. I was thinking whether this topic is relevant or not. That's the one thing I have my own doubt. Second thing is whether this topic is interesting to me or to others. You are a successful businessman. I was just thinking, how about talking about how to start a business? Everybody in the industry. Many of us, many of the youngsters here, they want to become a successful business people. That is where you could connect with the business. What are the challenges of a small scale business? What are the challenges when I approach the customer? These are the things which could resonate with the audience, which could engage more on them. So, identifying the right topic for this project is real challenge. In my view, you should have taken that. That's my suggestion. To challenge yourself, you can take a topic, go to the appropriate audience forum, and you can do that. For example, for this marriage thing, if you had gone to a forum where the people are undergoing a divorce, this would have been relevant. Or if you are a very successful businessman, go to some industry forum and do that. That's the challenge I want to pose with you. Otherwise, I thoroughly enjoyed. And certainly, I'm going to use some of the takeaways which you have given to me with my life to continue from 33 years to 50 years, subject to life. Thank you for giving the points to us to improve on, to take care of the areas of the life. All the best to you.
Thank you, DTM Priyadarshi, for that wonderful evaluation. DTM Priyadarshi has covered most of the points. I think the point that I was personally looking for which you definitely covered, was the relevance of the topic to the audience. And what I'm going to mention is how you can actually make the most out of this project by making the topic relevant. Is what you can do is, of course, go to different clubs, because the demographic of Sunshine as a club is different from other clubs as well. And this doesn't go for you, this goes for pretty much everyone. If you want to experience different audience, different natures of the audience, try out giving a speech in different clubs. And this will help, broaden your horizons pretty much. It will help you deliver speeches in front of different audiences. Like now, most of us are comfortable giving speeches in front of sunshine audience and sunshine members. And a better way to improve your journey and to enrich your journey as a speaker, go to different clubs. And I think this project may have been better in a club with a demographic like that. So again, one tip is that if you're attempting a project like this, think of the demographic, which again DDM Rishi also covered. But otherwise, I really enjoyed your speech personally. Of course, I am not married, but I did hear some of the humor, and I think back to what my dad has to go through to get his marriage. So it does in a way connect. I didn't notice one bit. What was the title of your speech?
Everything you wanted to know, but we were scared to ask.
Okay, so this feedback is speech specific. Just your title can be shortened because again I had to ask for what the speech title is, and a speech title is a wonderful way to ensure that the audience anticipates what's going to happen. So it's a great way to build anticipation right before your speech. So maybe shorten it to maybe 4 or 5 words, maybe a little bit more. Six is a little too short, but yes, just that one bit that I want to add. But otherwise, a wonderful speech from start to finish. For giving a wonderful speech and a wonderful evaluation, what do they deserve? Moving on to the second speech given by Toastmaster Chandan, can we have his evaluator Toastmaster Jayaprakash for his evaluation?
Good evening, all present here. A special good evening. What an amazing speech. It truly brought out the Bengaluru boys. The way we grew up, like cool joints like Sriram charts, playing on the playground, which is not really done nowadays. All they do is order Zomato and chill at home. The speech itself was designed very well. I mean, the transition was very smooth. You spoke about your family, growing up, engineering days, and also your work. And the way you put it up was really smooth, and everyone could relate to it in certain ways. Speaking about your style of speech, it's very easy to understand and very relaxed. We felt really comfortable on stage. Voice modulation was there, which is a very good point. Um, and stage presence and gestures really brought out more about the speech. The only thing I could suggest or improvement for you or challenge yourself is to use the stage a little bit more. Maybe you can go around, you can think more. That's what I do. If I get stuck, I usually go around and try to connect with the audience. Also, gestures, I feel it was there, but you could have used some gestures. Eye contact, just standing one person. But try to look at the audience in general. All in all, it was a great speech. Uh, Intro, body, and conclusion was right, spot on. You really cracked it. You cracked the icebreaker. It's like icebreaker, you broke the big ice and threw small chunks at each and everyone. So, really, hats off to you and all the best for your second speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jayaprakash. I liked how he mentioned Toastmaster Chandan broke the big ice and then threw small chunks of ice on everyone. That must have hurt, but but otherwise, I really like that phrase actually. You break the ice and then you give out chunks of information to everyone. So good job and a good evaluation overall as well. Coming to Toastmaster Chandan, I really like listening to your icebreaker, and it, to a point where it's hard to believe that this is your very first speech. Because I've heard you speak, I think, for the very first time, because I've not been very frequent to Toastmaster meetings, and I think for a very first speech, you were extremely fluent. I think not a lot of breaks and not a lot of pauses in between, and you went from start to finish like extremely well. And I could sense that you were extremely confident, with the use of humor here and there, and so on and so forth. I think there was a bit of audience engagement that you tried out, but I couldn't really see it. But again, that's just probably my imagination. But otherwise, a very very fluent icebreaker from start to finish. What I wanted to actually mention and focus on is what your next area of focus should be. Because as I heard from your speech, and something that I really love listening to is what is your motivation to be in Toastmasters? Why are you here in Toastmasters? What skill are you here to develop in Toastmasters? So your next area of focus, what I personally feel, is your vocal variety, right? Something that I noticed which you could try out in your future speeches. Like this was your very first speech. First speech, the objective is to relax, introduce yourself, and be familiar with the audience. What next, right? What I want you to focus and what I really challenge you on is focus on vocal variety. Trying to stress on those important points. Trying to change your volume and your pacing depending on the mood of the speech. Right? That is something that I would like to mention. But otherwise, a really good job, a really good icebreaker to start off with it with your journey. I would like to say congratulations on officially starting your Toastmaster journey. Can we have a huge round of applause? Now coming to the third speaker, the speech of the third speaker, Toastmaster Corona. Can we have his evaluator, Toastmaster Srojan, for his evaluation?
Good evening, everyone. Special good evening to Aruna. I like how you start your speech. I was like, I'm not enjoying this life so much. I'm in the race. I have to take a pause and start enjoying the little moments in my life. Your voice variety, volume, clarity, and gestures. Everything was good. One gesture was bad. Was you were holding your hand most of the time like this. You used your gestures. Now again, you came back to this position. I feel that you could have improved on. And the second thing is, after 3 minutes, your eye contact became only in the middle. Other things are snacks. You started seeing. You started seeing at the snacks. You were not seeing for the audience. And we could have used the stage a little more so that you're giving something. For example, when you like spending time with your son, you could have spent a little more like your son action that could have been done. And what else is you served your project title very well. Your topic selection, your title, everything was good. And things to improve is on your body language. Like if depends on how you are comfortable. Some people like to stand and speak, and some people like to walk and give a speech that you can think on. And it's a purposeful movement, not like sometimes please speaking for stress. You have a purposeful movement, and then I would like to challenge you to finish a speech, not giving more pauses. It's because it's your story. When it's your story, you can finish it, add something and just finish it. Don't keep more pauses in it. And one suggestion I can give you is, in case you forget, write the main parts of your speech. Like for example, when I was giving my icebreaker, mine was UKG, then fifth, then my 12th. So you can just write the main parts. When you see the main parts, you can start remembering. Okay, you can just remember the main keywords in your speech. To work on is a little more practice so that you can do it well and you can use the audio. That's it. Back to G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srujan, for that evaluation. You've covered a lot of the points, and I think you had a pretty good evaluation. But I do have feedback from an evaluator's perspective. It is important for any speaker or and any evaluator for that matter to ensure that they structure their evaluations and they structure their speech. Right? So while you had a lot of feedback, what I would have really loved to listen to in your evaluation would have been would have been a good structure. For instance, maybe call out the good points and focus on the good points of what Toastmaster Aruna did well in her speech. Maybe give 2 to 3 points about that. Then give a couple of points where you think she can improve herself, like let's say stage movement, vocal variety, so on and so forth, whatever that may be. And finally, maybe summarize the entire evaluation by calling out her speech as a whole, and summarizing all the good points and where she can improve. This is what, for people trying to evaluate speeches for the first time. This is what we call a sandwich method. We start with good points, followed by recommendations, and then followed by positive overall feedback of the entire speech. So maybe a better structure would have been a lot better. As I said, good evaluation, but only the structure was something that I would have loved to hear. But otherwise, good job on the evaluation. Coming to Toastmaster Aruna, a good speech. There were moments where, and as Toastmaster student rightly pointed out, again, there were moments where I think you blanked out a bit and you forgot your lines, right? And again, as Toastmaster student rightly pointed out, you can make main points, you can make pointers, right? You don't have to remember your speech verbatim, word to word, because what I feel is, in my experience, I've always tried remembering pointers, and that has helped me a lot because I've forgotten whole paragraphs at times. Like I've literally forgotten one or two paragraphs of my speech, and because I remembered the main points, what I want to cover, what I want to say to the audience, I was able to paraphrase, make something of it, and finish my speech without too many hiccups. So try remembering the main pointers, because you don't have to remember word to word. And of course, one feedback that I wanted for you is practice as much as possible. Right? Remember the main pointers and practice as much as possible, and so that you can give a more fluent speech. But otherwise, for the time that you spoke, you are extremely fluent and you have a good control over the language as well. And again, try moving around the stage a bit more, try engaging with the audience a bit more. Make yourself feel more comfortable for future speeches. Otherwise, a really good speech. I love listening to your speech as well. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Aruna and let's move on to the reports of my Tiger team, starting with the timers report by Toastmaster Aniruddha. The first one that will give the times of all the other speakers except for the prepared speakers.
First, SCAA, that is Ashutosh. He has taken 3 minutes. President Ashita Madam, taken 5 minutes. As I already got, Chandan is 5 minutes 17 seconds. Aruna 7 minutes 30 seconds. And Tarun he has taken 6 minutes 10 seconds. Then coming to the evaluation, Jay Prakash, he has taken 2 minutes 11 seconds. Shrijan 2 minutes. Toastmaster Priyadashri 3 minutes 45 seconds. Then Rakesh, Toastmaster, sorry, Rakesh has taken 4 minutes in the beginning speech. Coming to the table topics, Pooja, Ashutosh and Srujan, Aruna and Priyadashri, Stanley and Stanley, Navneet, all are within the time. It was a fantastic session. I enjoyed this. Thanks. Back.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aniruddha, for that detailed timers report. Next, can we have the R-counter Toastmaster Shubhankar with his R-counter report?
Good evening. Good evening. Toastmasters.
Good evening. Good evening.
That was a deliberate pause. So, a lot of you might not be familiar with famous Toastmasters, but I'm sure you're all familiar with Vajpayee. If you're not, you should watch his speeches on YouTube on how we used the pause. Very effective. And you can also see Barack Obama. You could listen to his speeches. They are also a gem to watch and to probably inculcate some in your speeches. So I'm not going to go into every nook and detail, but I'm just going to point out, highlight out people who took more than 10, uh, hit more than 10 in the counter list, and most of you were under it.
One for me. Toastmaster Rakesh and Aruna are a little over 10. And most of you were within 10. What I wanted to point out is the prepared speeches, they were really well written, well spoken. If you have to learn something from our club, all of our prepared speeches, the pauses were perfect. There were hardly any filler words. So you should follow Priya sir, Chandan, Aruna for all of their pauses. And what I also observed is we were using the filler words mostly where we were not prepared for the speeches. So that is something we need to work on. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubhankar, for that report. Up next, we have the grammarian report. Can we have the grammarian Toastmaster Ashna with his grammarian report?
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guest. Toastmasters Tarun said, life is a game and we need to adjust ourselves. It's a really good thing. Toastmaster Chandan, the only way to get unconditional love is to get a dog. The Toastmaster Aruna said, use very really quotes. Happiness is create an emotional well-being. When a person experiences something good at a specific moment, or when a person gives a personal evolution of one's life and achievement. And she also said the whole way people look at the world influences their happiness. Person who used the word of the day is Tarun, Toastmaster Hussein, and Toastmaster Harshita. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashna, for that detailed grammarian report. I'll get to the listener session in a bit, but what I want to do is I want to cover a bit more feedback for the taggle role takers. And this is something that I really liked in Toastmaster Subhankar's counter report. What he's done is he's really added value apart from his counter report. Right? And we all have our timers reports, we have our counters reports, we have our grammarian report. Something that I personally try to do and what I personally look out for is if the tagger note takers have tried adding value in their reports as well. So something, a bit of feedback for I think all of us to take back is whenever we are taking these notes, right? Do not make it about just raising records or noting down good usages or noting down pauses, right? It's about what comes out of that report. For instance, counting hours is easy, but what comes out of the number of hours? What comes out of areas of improvement in grammar and vocabulary? So adding value is something that is probably important for all of us. And when it comes to tagger note takers, this is a really good opportunity for all timers, counters, and grammarians to try to add value. And I spoke to a friend of mine. He's a new Toastmaster in a new club, and I asked him about what he thought about these words, what he thought about taking up these words. And he told me that timer is such a mundane job because it doesn't because it should occur to us that adding value, as a role taker, tends to become a little important and a little overlooked in my opinion. So that is something, and that is something that I really liked in Toastmaster Shabaka's report as well, and a bit of feedback from my end as well is in terms of how we treat these roles is where we can add value as a member to our group. So again, thank you Toastmaster Anirudh, Shubhankar, and Avitra for your detailed reports. Can we have the listener session now conducted by Toastmaster Navneet?
Okay, so I hope you've had your eyes, ears open. Let's begin. Let's begin with what Ashutosh shared.
Rules.
The rules.
Yeah. No, put up a.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shubhankar. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and just like fastest finger first, you guys need to raise your hands, and the ones who raise your hands, I'm going to pick and choose the fastest one, or if there's a tie, I'll choose the two of them as well. And then we choose the top three of them who answer the questions, and then that's the second round, and we go ahead and choose a winner from them with follow-up questions. Okay, are you game?
Open for guests also.
It's open for guests. It's open to everyone here. Thank you. So let's begin. Sergeant at Arms Ashutosh shared a lot about his story about him helping out damsels in distress. Which company was he working? Raise your hands, don't answer.
Can you repeat it?
So Ashutosh shared about his experiences of multiple heartbreaks uh, with damsels in distress. Which company was he speaking about when he was called, let's say, a player? Okay. Yes. Diabetics. No, no, it's not. Okay, we can move on. It is Visa. Okay. Okay, so Akash, Toastmaster Akash was sharing about adding insights. So it's not just about trivia or facts. Our president and TMOD shared about their fear. Right? What was that fear which was common? Toastmaster Shubhankar?
Jumping off a cliff or
So what was the common fear that both of them had? Okay,
fear of heights.
Karan?
Fear of heights.
Okay, I'll have to probably, yeah. Toastmaster Shubhankar gets that question. Okay. Okay. Now, if you know, I mean, Toastmaster Tarun cannot answer this question. Okay, this question is around his speech. He spoke about his experience of going to his prospective father-in-law's house and having the proposition of having one of his daughters as his prospective wife. Um, so you just need to let me know there was dowry offered, not the numbers, but if you could tell me along with the numbers, what was the reason behind each of them? Okay, Toastmaster Tejas.
So, the 10 lakh dowry was for being a little pregnant. The 5 lakh dowry was about limping away.
Okay.
And the 2 lakh dowry was about the thyroid.
Correct.
Awesome. Toastmaster Chandan shared his life story and life journey with us, and it was quite very enthralling. So he shared about the usual spots that he grew up in. Can you name at least 4 of them?
Malleshwaram, Mantri Square, maybe his house, and there's Pacific College.
I mean, still, we need 4. No, Bangalore doesn't count. 4 spots in a place he grew up in. Yes. Okay, that makes it 2. That was the school.
I give my
Might be.
Go ahead. There was, okay, yeah, of course, the journey that he used to make, but there's Mansimal, then there's Beagles, which he shared about, and basically Malleshwaram, where he grew up in also. So, yeah, giving it to Toastmaster Hussain for the first answer. Okay.
Type it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope there's only 3 questions. I'm sorry. Okay, so please stand up. Okay. What was Toastmaster Aruna's first experience of happiness? No?
When your child interacted with her.
No.
When
When
she
she
got
grew up.
married.
That is an invention, no? So she started out her life journey in what means happiness, and for her, it meant either having X or getting good grades. So what was X?
Having a job.
No. Yeah, sure. Not, that was future, but starting out as a kid, what was her first?
Dance.
So can I answer that?
Okay, Toastmaster.
No, I can't.
Ask some of the questions.
Okay, this was more about having a Barbie doll.
Yeah, Bobby.
Right? Okay. Okay, this would be easy, so fastest fingers first. Okay. In the proposals between Srijan and Ashutosh, where did Srijan see Ashutosh names first? Okay.
Backlog number.
I mean, Toastmaster Shubhankar gets it in the backloggers list. Thank you. Thank you.
So Toastmaster Shubhankar won in spite of not taking notes in his notebook. That's what I usually say. But anyways, congratulations to Toastmaster Shubhankar. Can we have a huge round of applause for both Toastmasters? President VP, I think we are over time. Permission to extend by about 2 more minutes. Yeah. Okay, now wait.
Yeah, you can explain.
Okay, cool. So I've got 2 more role takers for whom I really want to give feedback, starting with the TMOD. I'll get back to it in the end. Coming to the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Hussain. Toastmaster Hussain, I really liked your session. Couple of reasons. Firstly, as I always say, simple topics, and if people are able to speak at length, it is a very successful session. What I really liked about your session was it was a unique session with situations and with 2 people at the same time coming up and giving speeches. I think that was a really interesting twist in your session. And what it can sometimes do is you need to be cognizant of time because it can extend for like an extremely long time. Luckily, that didn't happen, and the topics were simple enough so that people were able to speak on that. So I really like the twist, and I really like your topics as well. Some of them relevant, some of them general, and all of them were topics where people were able to speak on. And something that I keep for calling out with respect to table topic masters is you had something to say after every speech. And I think while a lot of table topic masters do that, some of them don't do that. I think the importance of this cannot be cannot be stressed enough because it gives the impression that you're listening to each and every speech. And I think you gave that impression very well that you were listening, you were attentive to every table topic speaker that was coming on stage. And I think for a table topic speaker, that is a little encouraging, to come on stage to speak on a topic they've not heard of before this, and to speak impromptu in front of an audience. I think that's what probably made the session more encouraging for people to speak on. So a good job on that. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmasters? Coming to the TMOD, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rakesh. Was this your first time as the TMOD?
No, third time.
Third time. Because it showed because he did an extremely good job as the Toastmaster of the day. I think you're naturally humorous as a speaker and as a person, and I think that carried forward in your TMOD role because I think you carried the meeting brilliantly. You had the audience involved when it comes to humor. You spoke extremely well on the theme. You had personal experiences to give, and you also mentioned the general flow of the meeting. So if I had a checklist for what a TMOD had to do, I think I tick off pretty much almost all of the boxes because you did a fantastic job today as the TMOD. One thing that I really wanted to call out is when you gave introductions for everyone. Right? If everyone noticed, he gave like a one-line introduction for everyone, and something that I really liked is that he gave an equal amount of introduction to each speaker, each evaluator, and each role taker that came on stage. And that was a really good job that you did because what I've noticed is that for some people, TMODs give whole paragraphs of introduction because the speaker would have just copy pasted a message and would have given it to him. So a whole paragraph of introduction, while for another speaker, just a few adjectives there and there because that's what the speaker gave. So you didn't do that. You gave equal amounts of introduction for everyone. So something that I really wanted to call out, which was a job well done. A few areas of improvement, a few suggestions that I have for you. Maybe remember the basics of Toastmasters. For instance, Toastmasters started out in 1924, and I think that's what Toastmaster called out because he was sitting right next to me. So Toastmasters started out in 1924 for those.
Ralph Medley, he said something else.
Yeah, and it was started by Ralph C. Smedley. I've heard people say Ralph C. Medley in other
He said Rolf or something.
Yeah, but again, a common mistake
Yeah.
that I've heard in people is a lot of people call him Ralph C. Medley, which is not correct. So whenever you're giving history about anything, it's important to get the year, the person who started it correct, and it's something that us as speakers, if we're talking about Toastmasters, we're talking about any history in general. Maybe try getting the facts. Be careful, a little careful about the facts. Couple of suggestions, or a couple of more suggestions that I have is try engaging the audience a bit more. Audience engagement, asking them a few questions. Because what's critical for a success of any Toastmasters meeting is how the MC carries this meeting and making the audience more involved. You will go a long way in making this meeting a success. I mean, it was a great meeting, but a way in which you can make it an even better meeting is to involve the audience a bit more. And of course, mention a few tidbits of the theme even between speeches. I think you spoke well on the theme before calling me on stage, but maybe between speeches a few tidbits more so that everyone is reminded of the theme, and the theme means much more to the meeting than just your TMODs. Otherwise, a fantastic job done as the TMOD. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmasters? This brings me to an end, almost to the end of my general evaluation session. I do have a couple of general comments. Firstly, whenever you are maintaining a whiteboard, do keep it accurate because A, I don't see an up counter, and B, the order seems a little bit you know different than what I witnessed. So for a guest, when they are noticing the whiteboard, they might get a little bit confused, right? As to there's Toastmaster Jayaprakash who's the first evaluator, but you're calling DTM Priyadarshi on stage first. So it's a little confusing for anyone attending the meeting for the first time. Okay, there's something else on the board and something else on the stage. Secondly, and this is something that I've noticed for a long time, is and something that I personally feel could be changed is whenever someone speaks the word of the day. I personally think snapping fingers may break their flow. Now, I'm not sure if this has been working or this has not been working, so on and so forth. But something that I've personally noticed is when you snap your fingers and make any sort of noise during a speaker's speech, it could break their mental flow. It could break their plan. They could blank out for a second. It could happen. So maybe a thumbs up to get them encouraged, so that there's no sound as such to distract the speaker or the audience in general. But otherwise, I had fun at this meeting. This was a lovely meeting. Kudos to the TMOD, the VP, the VPT, the Shasana accounts for the lovely snacks, and to everyone who made this meeting a rousing success. And we have a huge round of applause for everyone who was able to make it today for today's meeting. With that, handing it back to VP and there is a one word in Japanese, kaizen, the continuous improvement. So, however it is good, still we need to keep on improvement. So, general evaluator role is very important to do that. So, we are running out of the time. So, I would like to call our president to close the meeting.
So I had a wonderful meeting today. I would like to congratulate Chandan on his icebreaker, which is fabulous. Toastmaster Aruna, your speech was so interesting, and you have such an interesting style. Your content is extremely strong. And I think we need to pay Tarun for his sessions because we can't stop laughing in his whole time. Other than that, I would like to congratulate our evaluators, Jayaprakash and Shujan. Both have done a good job. While we wait for our results, we have 10 responses so far. We can wait for the others also to respond.
Is anybody remaining submitting the vote? I think we can go.
We can go.
I did not.
Also, I would just like to say over here, like some of us have been, I mean, Sunshine is a legacy club. It's been there and we have some amazing speakers. But we've also been in different venues. So we were in a previous venue which was much smaller, then another place which was like a classroom. And here, right now, we privileged, we stand in a stage which is huge. And believe me, it is much better than the platform as such is big and much better than the other clubs around us. So I think we need to use this platform as much and like really make use of the fact that we have a stage. So we need to really give more speeches and come from. Also, with following up on that, we would like to do a youth leadership program to bring in more money to the club so that we sustain, having this amazing facility for us. So, what a youth leadership program is that we will be, mentoring, students or kids about how, you do a Toastmaster session. So, it'll be a typical 8 session kind of thing. So, I mean, we'll share more information. But what we need is that you can please pass around the message among your family, your friends, saying that Sunshine Toastmasters is looking to conduct a youth leadership program. So we're looking at least 16 kids, and they will greatly benefit, especially in summer holidays. They feel confident, they feel very encouraged when they go back to school. So this is something good for us to and everyone needs to actively look out for any opportunities like this. And now to announce the okay, so we have the best role taker. The best role taker is our counter Toastmaster Shubhankar. That was the best tagline role taker. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So the best role taker is our general evaluator Toastmaster Akash. Okay, the best table topic speaker is Pooja. The best speaker today, this is a tie. So it's 50% Toastmaster Tarun and 50% Toastmaster Chandan. So both of you please come up. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Jayaprakash. And the best listener is again Toastmaster Shubhankar. Yeah, there you go. Everyone can come forward for the photo.
Close the ticket now.
With this, I would like to close today's meeting.
Actually, I forgot something. People who don't know what is a ferry wheel, this is a ferry wheel. And this is the paragliding activity. I forgot to show. So the last moment plan.
Yeah, 35 minutes.